Yo, what's going on to the hustlers out there? You already know I'm T Will. Welcome back to another episode of the Hustle Sports Fantasy Podcast. It's Wednesday, fantasy week at the halfway point, which means there's still some work to do. You already know we here to get dubs. Who can help us get there? Who heating up quietly, and we grinding and position ourselves with smart pickups. And as you already know, you sleep, you beat. Let's go and get to it. These consistent streamers for this week. These are the guys who are gonna help you win because of the opportunities that they have. The consistency is there. They've been balling. Tre Johnson, 8.4% roster from the Washington Wizards. You know what I mean? He averaging 21.7 fantasy points on the season, 12.9 points, 2.2 assists, 2.8 rebounds. But he makes almost three threes a game, 29 minutes. So he really getting burned. You know what I'm saying? Had a 33 fantasy point game on January 24th with 26 points, 6 assists, and made six threes in that game against the Hornets. He really balling, so he worth an ad. Like I say, he 8.4% roster, so he widely available. Check him out. Ace Bailey, 24.2% roster from the Utah Jazz, 19.8 fantasy points on the year. You know what I mean? That's his season average, 10.9 points, 3.5 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 1.4 threes made a game on the season. You know what I mean? He had a 39 fantasy point game in week 14 where he had 25.6 rebounds, 2 assists. He averaging 31 fantasy points over his last 3 games. And with all the injuries that's happening up there in Utah, you know what I mean? The fluctuation with their lineup, Ace Bailey gonna be a safe ad. He might be a stream to stay guy. You never know. Check him out though. Ace Bailey from the Utah Jazz. Next up, I got Mitchell Robinson, 6.6% roster from the New York Knicks, 23.2 fantasy point average on the season, 4.9 points, 9.2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1.2 blocks per game in 19 and a half minutes. He's doing a lot in the limited amount of time that he playing. He averaging 31.3 fantasy points in week 14, or he averaged that. He even averaged 2 blocks and a steal a game. So he looked like he might be a stock specialist guy too for the category players out there. Check out Mitchell Robinson. Fantasy ain't just namesake, it's volume. You know what I mean? Opportunity beats reputation. So let's go and get after it. Hey, here go the injury boost streamers. These guys really wasn't on your radar, but somebody went down in front of them. They out. Make sure y'all check them out. It could be short term, could be long term. Never know. You know what I'm saying? We looking for that minute spike, usage bump. You know what I'm saying? We looking for all that, the opportunity. First guy up though from Detroit Pistons. You know what I mean? Daniss Jenkins. He's 1.9% rostered. You know what I mean? Yeah, and Karis LeVert missed last night matchup, against the Nuggets. So and then Jenkins averaged 29 fantasy points in week 14, 12.7 points, 1.3 rebounds, 4.7 assists, 1.3 steals, 1 block, 2 threes a game, in 23 minutes a game in week 14. He's doing a little bit of everything, as you just heard. It might be a short-term thing, you know what I mean? But the productivity is there. Jenkins is a solid play, especially while Detroit's depth is in question. Next up from my Mavs, Caleb Martin. He 0.4% roster, and these all in ESPN leagues as well. You know what I mean? Multiple injuries on the Mavs. We've been struggling with injuries all season. Everybody in and out the lineup. Caleb Martin coming off a 39 fantasy point game, a 39-point fantasy game, where he had 17 points, 3 rebounds, and assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, three threes made in 24 minutes. You know what I mean? Like I say, he probably not a long-term solution, but he a good streamer this week in week 15. 3 games scheduled this week or the rest of this week. He averaging 23 and a half minutes a game in his last 6 games. We all know Caleb Martin is a solid vet. You can trust him. Go on, add him now. Go on, add him now. Ride the hot hand. And then if it break down, you can get off of him. But go on, put him in the lineup for sure. As I said earlier, as I always say, opportunity is the #1 fantasy cheat code. So yes, they got great opportunities. That's Daniss Jenkins, Caleb Martin for the injury boost streams. These for my category players. You know what I mean? We targeting streamers who can feel a specific need for you to help win that category. For the 3 specialists, double duty. I mentioned them earlier. Tre Johnson from the Washington Wizards. You know what I mean? Like I say, 8.4% roster, averaging 4 made threes a game over his last 7 days, and he getting major burn at 33.7 minutes a game. Check Tre Johnson out. He gonna help you out. Stock specialist, steals and blocks. You know what I mean? Wins matchups, nobody checking for. I mentioned him on the full episode earlier this week. Dylan Cardwell from the Sacramento Kings, 6.1% rostered, 2.5 blocks, 1.3 steals in the last 7 days. Bro, really baller. He's stuffing the sheet and he only playing 19.7 minutes a game on the season. Like I say, I mentioned him from the episode on Monday. Dylan Cardwell really doing his thing. So check him out if you need help in that stocks category. Assist specialist. You know what I mean? You need somebody who can shut a rock, getting 6, 7 assists. Looking at AJ Mitchell from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now he is 39.3% rostered, but he's still widely available. That puts you at what, 60% available. He averaging 5.5 assists over his last 7 days. You know, he only averaged 3.7 on the season, but you know, right now he's showing that he on a little hot streak when it comes to sharing the ball. Make sure y'all check him out if y'all need help in the assist category. He holding down the playmaking. And for that rebound enforcer, you know what I mean? People crashing the glass, getting garbage points. Yves Missi from the New Orleans Pelicans, 4.9% rostered. He's averaging 9.3 rebounds over the last 7 days. He's doing crazy work on the glass. Missy doing this in 26 minutes a game, too, over them last 7 days. So he efficient. He getting hella boards. He playing great defense. So make sure y'all check him out. We at this point in the season where we're trying to build momentum and stack wins and make that playoff push. It's right here. And next up, this my stream to stay candidate. You know what I'm saying? These are audition pickups. If they hit, you know, they on the roster. They there for the rest of the season. If they don't hit, you know what I mean? Try again. We back to the drawing board. Justin Champagnie, 3.2% rostered from the Washington Wizards. He averaging 20 fantasy points over the course of the season, uh, 7.3 points a game, 5.7 rebounds, 1.1 assists, zero point 0.8 steals, which tells me closer to getting one than he's not. He's averaging 29.2 fantasy points too over his last 5 games. He only playing 25.8 minutes too in the last 5 games. So it's a lot of different moving parts in Washington, but Champagne could be a win streak. So make sure y'all lock in on that. And if he can keep up this consistent production, he on your roster. And as we know, temporary moves can become permanent weapons. So don't sleep on it. Don't judge a book by its cover. You already know the managers who playing today, playing on Wednesdays, they win Saturday and Sunday. Make sure y'all checking back-to-back schedules, 3-game weekend stretches like a Thursday, Saturday, Sunday stretch, low ownership teams with favorable matchups. Make sure we looking at all the data to help you out. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't grabbing players for a night. You trying to build momentum, trying to make that playoff push. And that wraps up the midweek hustle, you know, quick, intentional. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm T Will. Hey, I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. Hey, hustlers, keep doing your thing. Keep make sure y'all grinding to get them dubs out there. Go on, let's get after it. Let's get after this. You already know you sleep, you beat. I'll holler at y'all.